Hi, this is Dr. V, and I just wanted to go over this journal with you. This is the journal for week 2 of English 110 composition for the fall of 2022. You can see in the instructions at the top that I have information about Google Drive. Depending on when you are looking at this journal, you may or may not have a Google Drive folder created yet. I am making those folders for my students and sharing them with everyone in the class so that you will be putting your work in the Google Drive. So if you happen to be doing this work and that folder isn't made yet, you'll see when I am finished making the folders, I'll announce it, and then you can move your work into the folder. I did want to remind everybody at the front end of this video that storing your work in Google Drive is not the same as turning your work in. I know that a lot of my students were in high schools or other educational settings where Google tools were used. And a lot of the time there's something called Google Classroom in use. Google Classroom automatically generates a gradebook and turns in the work if a student does it in their Google Drive for a class. This is not the same thing at all. The turn-in spot is always going to be Canvas. That's where the gradebook lives. Google Drive is a tool that we use for storing and sharing work only. So I wanted to clarify that here at the beginning in case you're a little bit confused about that. When you move down into the journal, you'll see that there are several sections in it. I think they're fairly self-explanatory and they have their point values. The thing I am asking students to do is fill in under each section and make it kind of obvious when you fill something in. Maybe do it in bold or a different color or highlight it or something, because it can be really hard on my end of things when I'm reading what you did to tell where my questions end and the answers begin. You'll see off to the side that I am inviting you and encouraging you to leave me comments along the way. To leave me a comment at any time, you can highlight inside of the document and then click on the plus button to add a comment. It's very easy to do. I really enjoy the comments I get from students because I can focus my feedback on responding to comments and questions that are inside of a journal. The second section of this journal is a short answer section that relates to the reading that is in perusal for this week. The reading is in perusal and it has a video associated with it that is one of the major lessons for this particular week. The third section of this journal is the prompt. This is worth 40 points in the journal. This part of the journal leads directly to the paper that you're writing for paper number 1. You'll see down here that I have instructions, including what's in this gray box. You do want to read through all of this very slowly and carefully so that you know what you're answering. It's pretty clear when students are reading and following along carefully versus not, because usually what happens if the reading of the assignment itself isn't done very carefully, then things get left out. So try not to leave anything out. Work your way down here. Look at the examples carefully, and then don't forget, this is really important, to do this part here at the end where you are going to write your details in this part below. A lot of the work that gets done in this journal, as I mentioned earlier, ends up in the paper, and it's an act of discovery. When you write and you try things out, that's where you begin to know, hey, do I really want to keep this in my paper? Do I want to put it in there or not? So give it a shot. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. And thanks for watching.